everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Katie and I'm the organic esthetician. In today's video, we're going to talk about the difference between microcurrent and radio frequency. Both of these are amazing anti-aging modalities that can be used at home. If you've been following the channel, you're already familiar with my favorite at-home microcurrent device, the MyOlive Mini. Today, I'll introduce you to my new at-home radio frequency device, the NEWA Beauty. Microcurrent uses a low-level electrical current to mimic the body's natural current. It works at stimulating the muscle, re-educating it, either lengthening or shortening the muscle. This electrical current is measured in microamp. True microcurrent is a subsensory experience and really shouldn't be felt at all. Radio frequency is a type of energy. It's measured in frequency or wavelengths per second. It's in the same category as sound waves, and it's part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The frequency creates a controlled heat that's sent into the skin, the epidermis, dermis, or even the subdermis, depending on the type of radio frequency. And it stimulates the production of collagen and elastin. It firms the skin and it minimizes wrinkle depth. Because there's heat involved, you definitely feel these treatments. And depending on the type of treatment you have, some are more comfortable than others. While some results can be seen instantly, a little firming and lifting of the skin, the full results can take up to 3 months to be seen. When we're triggering collagen stimulation, we're dealing with the skin cycle. And so there's always going to be a delay between treatment and result. So it's one of those things that you have to keep at it, even though you're maybe not seeing the desired results immediately after use. So microcurrent affects the muscle and radio frequency affects the skin. Both are incredibly beneficial, and in an ideal at-home anti-aging routine, there is room for both microcurrent and radio frequency. Again, if you want lifting and toning and contouring, microcurrent. If you want to firm your skin and specifically address fine lines and wrinkles, opt for radio frequency. And I feel like in most cases, you want lifting and contouring and wrinkle minimization and firming, right? So you can see why using these two modalities in conjunction with each other could be really beneficial. When it comes to radio frequency, because we're dealing with heat and not an electrical current, the contraindications are going to be a little different for radio frequency than they are for microcurrent. So one of the big things when doing a radio frequency treatment is that if you have any metal in your face, any piercings or jewelry, you're going to want to remove them. It heats up the skin, but it will also heat up anything else it comes into contact with. And if you had a nose ring or a lip ring or something like that, and the device were to hit it, I feel like it could cause a lot of discomfort. I'm going to run through the list of contraindications really quickly, just so you guys are all familiar. Radio frequency is not ideal for someone who has a pacemaker, arrhythmia, or any other severe heart condition. And again, it's not great if you have any metal implants or piercings in the treatment area. It's not safe to use while you are pregnant or breastfeeding. It's not ideal if you're suffering from some sort of autoimmune disease, just because that affects the way the body heals itself. You're not going to want to use this treatment over any open lesions or sores on the skin. It's not great to use if you have a blood clotting disorder. Using any blood thinning medication. You want to stop using Accutane if you're on it and wait at least 6 months before doing a radio frequency treatment. They suggest that if you have trouble seeing, to not do this treatment also, which I guess is just that you really need to be mindful about the treatment area and your movement. And I think that maybe if you can't see what you're doing, it might be problematic. And then the last one is kind of a bummer. So radio frequency is really only ideal for someone who has a Fitzpatrick rating of 1 through 4. So I'm going to put the Fitzpatrick scale here so you can see it, and it's by skin tone. So if you have a darker skin tone, the heat can actually adversely affect pigment. Unfortunately, if you're a Fitzpatrick 5 through 6, the radiofrequency can actually negatively affect the skin pigment and actually cause hyperpigmentation and other issues. So everything that I just said is over on the NEWA website, which I will link down below. And if you have any questions or any hesitation about using radiofrequency at home, I would reach out to NEWA directly and or talk to your medical provider. So this is the NEWA Beauty at-home radiofrequency device. Now that we know what it does and who can use it, let's talk a little bit about the device specifically. NEWA Beauty was generous enough to send me a device to try out in exchange for making a review video like I do. I've been using this device about a month now, and I've been really enjoying it. The treatments are relaxing, although they are a little long, but I am starting now at about the month mark to notice changes in my skin. Now, I said this earlier, but I'll repeat it again. When we're dealing with collagen stimulation, so that's treatments like this with radiofrequency or with LED light therapy, there is a delay between the treatment and the result. So it's one of those things that you kind of have to just keep chugging along doing it, hoping that it'll be worth it at the end. And it definitely will. After a few treatments, I started to notice a difference after the treatment. My skin felt a little tighter, a little firmer. Towards that month mark, that firmness has kind of just stayed a constant. And I'll wake up in the morning and my skin looks and feels just a little more lifted and a little more taut than what it used to be. In about a month or two from now, I'll do another video to give follow-up results, because that's when the peak of my results really start to show. So the NEWA Beauty device is actually the at-home version of a professional device. They use the same technology. So NEWA is owned by a company called ND Med. They make medical grade aesthetic devices, and they're used by dermatologists worldwide, such as the 3D RF technology, which I'll talk about in a moment because we're going to get into what exactly that is. NEWA was the first FDA-approved at-home radiofrequency device. So their clinical studies and technology and all of the work kind of paved the way for other companies to create similar technology. So it's an FDA-approved device that's clinically proven to reduce wrinkles by up to 36% and to immediately improve the skin's tone and texture.
This is a picture that shows the difference between young, healthy skin and older skin where collagen has started to decrease. Now, in 30 days of treatment, you can build up to 4% of collagen, which is the equivalent of turning back the clock by 4 years. After the age of 30, we lose an average of 1% of collagen a year.
One of the things that I think is really cool that NEWA offers, and it's one of the reasons why I feel really comfortable suggesting you guys try this product, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee and a year warranty. So you are totally covered if you try it and you hate it, if you try it and you're unhappy with the result, something happens to your device and it breaks, if it's covered by the warranty, they'll replace it. There are tons of professional radiofrequency treatments out there, and there are a handful of at-home devices on the market. I thought it would be really helpful to kind of walk you through some of the terminology around radiofrequency so that you can better understand it. This was something that was a little confusing to me at first, and so I feel like presenting it should be helpful, at least to someone. Possibly if you're an esthetician, you might really appreciate this. So there are radiofrequency treatments for treating the face, firming, anti-wrinkle treatment that we're talking about. There are also radiofrequency treatments out there for treating the body, specifically targeting fat. So these radiofrequency treatments dissolve fat. And so when I started looking for a RF treatment for my face, I really wanted to make sure that it was not going to affect any of the adipose tissue or fat in my face, right? Once that goes away, it's not coming back. And while some might be a little unwanted, losing fat specifically through the cheek area and this lower section of the face can actually be a really big issue as we age moving forward, right? So we want to be really mindful to preserve the fat that we have in our face. Here's what you need to know. There are a couple different forms of radio frequency. So there's monopolar, unipolar, so we'll kind of just talk about one of those. There's bipolar, and then there's multipolar radio frequency. And I'm gonna explain kind of what these all mean. Let's think back to like 6th grade science maybe, right? Did you ever have to do a thing where you completed a circuit or you saw there was like a positive pole and a negative pole and that's how electricity bounces back and forth? So keep that in mind when we're talking about poles. So a monopolar device has one pole, it's in the handpiece. So a handpiece is used on the body and then a grounding electrode is used somewhere else on the body. So that current flows from the handpiece through the body to that grounding electrode wherever it's placed. That allows the current to travel really deep, right? Up to 20 millimeters into the skin. So it's these types of treatments that are really effective for dissolving that subcutaneous fat. They also get really hot. So a lot of those monopolar radiofrequency devices have to have some sort of cooling mechanism on the surface so that it doesn't overheat the epidermis or top layer of the skin. Then there's bipolar. Bipolar handpiece would look something more similar to your NuFace or like one of the MyoLift probes. It has 2 little electrodes on it. The current jumps back and forth between the 2. So monopolar went really far to get to that grounding, whereas a bipolar electrode has a really short distance to travel. And so when you're using a bipolar electrode on the skin, it's kind of just hopping into the skin and hopping out. This makes it effective for treating the face, but it's very superficial, and we're really only talking about it affecting the epidermis, that top layer of the skin. And the deeper levels of the dermis underneath the epidermis is where the collagen is produced. Then there's a multipolar device. Often I see tripolar, octopolar, however many different electrodes are on this handheld device. You can only have one pair at a time. So the positive electrode kind of jumps back and forth, creating pairs, alternating between the different electrodes as it's working in the skin. So this is really helpful for a slightly deeper penetration and also really great and effective at firming the skin. A multipolar treatment is going to go anywhere between 2 millimeters and 4 millimeters. So 4 millimeters is that target depth. That's where the collagen is. That's where we want to treat. The adipose tissue is at 6 millimeters into the skin. You don't have to worry about that type of treatment affecting fat in the face. So a monopolar radiofrequency treatment is going to be really great for the body and is very deep penetrating. A bipolar radiofrequency treatment is going to be really great for the face, but it's going to be more superficial. And a multipolar treatment is going to be ideal for firming the face and really diving a little bit deeper, but not too deep, to affect the collagen and give you that lift and firming that you want. Okay, so where does NEWA fall into all of this? So here you can see the electrodes on the tip of your NEWA device. It has 6 electrodes. So this is considered a multipolar device. ND Med has this proprietary technology called 3D RF. And what it does is creates this kind of 3D mapping in the skin. So say this is the surface of the skin. Instead of sending heat just to these top layers, The 3D technology is able to kind of harness the heat and send it vertically into the skin. So I have this little thermal imaging graphic that I'm gonna put right up here in the corner. I got this from ND Med's website. So the first image shows you what a bipolar radiofrequency treatment looks like. You can see that there's heat diffused across the surface of the skin. The second picture shows you what the 3D technology looks like. It's on the surface, but you see how it's penetrating deeper into the skin. So what that is allowing is for a more concentrated and effective treatment. You're stimulating way more collagen there, but you're also making it a comfortable treatment. It's not going to get too hot on the surface, right? So that's something that can happen with some radiofrequency treatments. They can be a little uncomfortable. So as long as you are moving your device on the surface as directed by NEWA Beauty, you will not burn yourself, and it's very comfortable. It feels like a hot stone massage. It's quite nice. So hopefully that gives you an explanation of how different types of radio frequency can be used for different parts of the body or for different treatments, and why the NEWA Beauty is so effective at stimulating collagen production. We'll link the NEWA device down below. If you guys hop over to their website, their devices are 40% off right now. So that's almost $100 off on each of their devices. They make a NEWA Plus and a NEWA Classic. I have the NEWA Plus. The only difference between the two devices is that the NEWA Plus is cord free when you use it. The NEWA Classic, you have to have plugged in during use. So if having a wireless option is worth $100 more to you, go for the wireless option. But if you want to save $100, do the plug-in option. It's the exact same technology. We're doing a deal right now where if you buy one conductivity gel, you get a second gel for free, which is also pretty cool. So lots of great deals over on NEWA Beauty's website. And again, I'll link all of that down below. If you're interested in seeing an unboxing and a demo, make sure you watch my next NEWA video. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned a little something new about radio frequency. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. You liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. In my last video, I mentioned I was gonna be doing some Instagram lives. My Instagram handle is The Organic Esthetician, and I'll put a link down below. The next 3 Sundays, I'm doing lives for Self-Care Sunday. The whole reason I'm doing it is that I thought it would be fun for you all to do your treatment at home, following along with me as I'm doing it live. You can ask questions while you're doing the treatment. And I thought it just might be a fun way for all of us to connect. On Sunday, May 17th at 1 p.m., I'll be doing a NEWA Beauty treatment. So if you have a NEWA Beauty or are interested in watching a demo of it live, make sure you tune in to my Instagram live. All right, everyone, I hope you are healthy and happy and safe, and I will see you all really soon. Bye.